Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. It's lovely to see you as always. So today we're going to be making some little dangles, and this is kind of an upgrade from the first ones that I shared. I don't know, it was a while ago now, but we made some word and button dangles using our scraps of paper. Well, today we're going to be doing something similar, but this time using our scraps of fabric, and instead of buttons we're going to use some bows. Of course, you can do this any way you like. You could have a button, you could have a charm, it doesn't have to be a bow. I just thought they looked super cute with a bow. So we're going to make something similar to this, and I'm thinking that I may end up using these in my Edith Holden projects because I think colours wise and softness wise and word wise they kind of go quite well with her stuff. Alright, so here's what you will need. You will need your fabric scraps, so I've got a whole heap here. I've got a mixture of laces and crochets and sort of soft fabrics like that, but I have also got some weightier fabrics. So I've got some muslin and I've got some heavy cotton, because I was finding that if it's just lace it kind of like flaps around a little bit, whereas the sturdiness of these fabrics just give it a little bit of a weight, so it sort of is a little bit more structured, so you know it will hang nicer, I think. So you need those. You'll need some words. So the words that I'm using are from a kit from Rach and Bella Crafts. It's their Botanical Dreams kit, and they're just like the right size. Lovely words, so I've got those. Bowl pins, some bows, needle and thread, and some fabric glue. That's all you need. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is choose your word, and we're going to choose a piece of lace or fabric that when you put your word onto it, you get this nice little bit of a border around it, so you can see the lace on all sides. That's really just for a bit of interest, and because it, it adds another texture. So we're just going to add a bit of fabric glue to the back of our word, and just going to glue that into the middle, as I say, so that you get the you get a bit of lace on all sides. Look, very pretty. So you have something like that. Okay, so I've got some pre-prepared, so you didn't have to see me do that 7 or 8 times. Okay, and then it's just a case of taking our first one and layering up our different pieces of lace and fabric scraps. So I've got a whole bunch behind me, to the side of me, sorry. And now I like to hold them in my hand so that I can sort of see how the whole piece is going to look. And what I think I mentioned in the beginning, I like to use a sturdy piece in there as well, just to give the whole thing a little bit of structure. Now, as you can see, this piece of lace is far too long. We can cut that after. It's just best to have longer pieces that you can cut down rather than pieces that are too short, Okay, I'm going to add this bit of lace just here. So lots and lots of lace scraps in this one. And I think that's about what I would like. So I'm just going to cut off the end of these two. So we have something like that, although I didn't cut that very straight. Let's try that again. Can always trim it properly once we've actually stitched them together. So you end up with something that kind of looks like that. Very, very pretty. So we're going to take our needle and thread. I've already knotted the bottom of my thread. And we're just going to come in. Oops. And we're just going to do a couple of simple stitches at the top. Now you want to obviously go just above your word. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be particularly neat, just a couple of back stitches or a running stitch, a tacking type stitch, just to hold things in place. I'm just doing a few of those. So this is a really nice project to do, in front of the TV, a bit of a relaxing one. And who doesn't love a good scrap busting project? I certainly need plenty of those. Okay, and then I'm just going to take my needle through the back of a couple of those stitches. Oops. And then I'm just going to tie another knot just to keep everything in place. Excuse my fumbly fingers. I've picked a very light coloured thread, so it's a little bit difficult to see even for me. Okay, I'm just cutting off the excess here. Okay, so then you end up with something that looks kind of like this. Now you can absolutely do like flag shapes with your fabrics if you like. I personally like the sort of frayed, scrappy kind of a look to the bottom of it, so that's kind of what I choose to go for. But you know, everyone does these differently, so you know, you do you. So there we have that. So we're going to take our bulb pin. Thinking I'll go with gold for this one. And we're just going to pop that in the top. Now ideally we want to try and miss our paper, but it's no big deal if you need to put it there, because I'm thinking, where would I like my bow to be? And I feel like I want it to be somewhere about there. So I think for this one I will need to go through the paper, but that's okay. Just don't go too close to the top of the paper because you could cause it to rip. So we're just going to put our awl through and pop our bulb pin on, so you get something like that. And then of course that looks a little bit not so neat, as you can see. So before we were using buttons to, you know, cover that up, which you could still do. Button would look very cute on here. But for these I'm using little bows because yeah, I just fancy like changing it up a bit. So I'm just going to add a little dab of glue, little Justine, of fabric glue, so that I can stick my bow, really just to cover that messy hole, you know, that's all it's there for. Likewise, you know, a button or a charm would hide that just fine too. Now, because we glued the word onto a piece of lace and that lace is stitched onto the rest, if your hole was to rip at a later point, because you know that could happen, especially with, you know, wear and tear, then you wouldn't lose the word piece because it's stitched to the rest of it, if that makes sense, because it's attached to that piece of lace that we had earlier. Okay, I think that's taken, yeah. And so you get this pretty thing. Isn't it cute? Absolutely love it. So yeah, that's what we're doing today, just making a whole bunch of these. So that really is the concept, you know, nothing fancy. So for those of you who would like to stick around and just sort of, yeah, have me on in the background, maybe as you make some, that would be cool. Then I'm going to go on and make some more, because I've got all these words, so I might as well. So I'm thinking if I move these over, where can you see those? About there? So if I have them there, then we can sort of see how many we can get done in a video. Alrighty then, so let's go with this one. Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned, I think I did, I really like these words from Rachel Bella Cross because they just seem to be the perfect size for this. But you know, use any words that you like, because you know that's not the important part. Okay, I'm just gonna chop a little bit off the top. There we go, just a little bit messy. So I've got my weighty fabric. I'm coming in with a piece of lace. I'll put the lace on top of that weighty fabric, because I think the weightier fabric, I know, how many times am I going to say that, is it's not really a decorative part to it, it's really just to give it a bit of a bit more structure. Okay, and then a piece of this lace. Just need to tie a knot in my thread. Oh, the sun's come out now. It was absolutely torrential downpour this morning when I was supposed to walk my dog, or rather when I was walking my dog. So yes, we got very, very wet. But you know, typically we got home and then, I don't know, about maybe about half an hour after we'd gotten home, maybe, the rain had essentially stopped, which was like, that's so typical, isn't it? That is so typical. So yeah, just like before, I'm just putting in a couple of very simple stitches. You don't have to do this part, you know, if you don't like to use a needle and thread, then don't feel like you can't do this without it. You could just glue all of these layers together if you wanted. You could even machine stitch them if you'd prefer. To be honest, I would probably do that myself if you know, I wasn't doing the video, because it would probably be a bit quicker. But you know, it's a case of I'm not next to my machine right at this moment, so that's why I'm not. Okay, I'm just going to come under a couple of these threads, and I'm going to see if I can try and tie a knot without taking my needle off of the thread, because that would save time. But it's one of those days where I do feel all fingers and thumbs, so you'll have to excuse me whilst I make a pig's ear out of this. Okay, how's that? That's fine. Oops, do not lose your needle. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off a couple of these ends, like so, and grab our bulb pin. So again, I'm just going to go through the top just there. And then it's just a case of us choosing a bow. So I think I'll go with white for this one. Yeah, I think they look really pretty, don't they? Can you see those? Very pretty. I'm sure this has been done before. I was wanting to make a dangle for my Edith Holden projects, and you know, given the whole Edith Holden thing, I really thought that it would be best being more, you know, softer than just paper. And so I started thinking about ways where I could maybe change up the dangles that I have done. I had these bows just sitting there wanting to be used, so it just sort of morphed into that really, but I'm sure these are probably have been done. I don't know myself, but yeah, the idea just, it's one of those things that just pops into your head really, doesn't it? And I thought the bows would look really cute with the lace. But you know, as I say, you know, charms, buttons, all of those types of things would work absolutely fine, I'm sure. Okay, so we've got this piece, so if I put that in there, I've got my weighty fabric. I'm saying the word weighty again, aren't I? I think it's one of those things, like once you get a word in your head, you just keep saying it. I don't know if that's just me, but it's definitely a me thing. Okay, right, I'm just gonna put the lace in here, like so. Then we're gonna have the other fabric, but what I'm trying to do when I'm positioning them in my hand is I'm just trying to get it so that I can see all the different laces behind. I think that might be a little bit too thick, so let's go with this one. Yeah, I just want to be able to see all the different layers, which is why, you know, I'm sort of staggering them a little bit, I suppose. So, you know, I've got the back fabric, I've got a bit of lace there, and then my word on top. It's kind of what I'm doing, but there's no real science to it or anything. I feel like I want that one to be here. Perfect. Okay, that's fine. I need to re-knot my thread, don't I? So yeah, this is one of those just nice different types of just one of these nice little like relaxing type projects that you can do. And if it uses up some scraps, then I'm sure I'm not the only one rejoicing about that right now. So I do end up stitching right above the word, and sometimes right like just beneath it without going through the paper. So it might take you a little bit of trial and error because you probably can't quite see. I did think about leaving some more space at the top above the word, so that there was more space for stitching. The trouble is that these particular words had, you know, they've got this part as being blank or, you know, nothing on it. And it just didn't look right once I added the bow. I wanted to be able to cover that with the bow, so yeah, I ended up just stitching just above the paper. It seems to have worked just fine. But yeah, it's funny, when I did the very first button and word dangles, so many people got involved with making them. I was so surprised because I was just sharing something that just had popped into my head, you know, like most videos, to be honest with you. And yeah, loads of people started making them, and lots of people made them, you know, that it just became this thing of like so many people made them in different ways. And some people had used fabrics, which is probably where this sort of concept came from, I guess. And then other people had used different types of papers, and yeah, it was really interesting to see different takes on them. I really enjoyed that. So if you would like to make some and you would like to show me, I would love to see. Really love to see. I think I prefer the wider bows. Although that is very pretty, isn't it? Alright, fine. I feel like I want a silver ball pen for this one. So I'll use this one. Okay, and then again, oops. Now I did try, when I was first making the first one, I was trying so hard to find a way to add like a jump ring. It just didn't seem to be working for me, but if you can find a way to add a jump ring, that would also help you as well, I'm sure. But I couldn't figure it out. And it's one of those things, is I get really impatient when I try new things and want to show you new things, that I just want to get on and show you and not faff about too much about the insignificant details, because at the end of the day, everyone is going to make these in their own kind of a way. So I plant the seed. That's what I'm here for. I just plant a seed, and hopefully you're looking at these and thinking, I might do them in a different type of a way. So I do feel like I'm going to add a little bit extra glue to this bow, just because I want those legs to be a little bit further out, I think. So spot of glue, trying not to use too much. Just want it more like that, I think. And yeah, these bows are just, you know, they're just pre-prepared bows, most of which have actually been sent to me. But you could also just tie up a few bows before you begin. That would be fine. That's that one. As I say, I like the scrappy vibe to them, really. Very textural, very cute. Okay, how are we doing? I'll carry on. I'll do about, you know, a half-hour video or so, and then, you know, I can always finish the rest off screen. Okay, so I've got a thicker lace here, which I'll put this side. Very pretty. And I want another piece. This one I'll do. So yeah, these are not going to go all in the same journal, which is why I'm not worrying so much if I end up using similar kinds of fabrics and laces. And then also another thing to bear in mind with this, the sturdier, the weightier fabric, there's that word again, is it does actually help you with the stitching as well, I find, because it just gives your needle something more to grab, if that makes sense. Okay. There wasn't enough thread to tie a knot in this one, so I feel all fingers and thumbs, which is like, I don't know, I feel like fingers and thumbs every day, to be honest. Don't know. I think it's just, I can't remember who said, but somebody said recently that it's like, you know, when you're doing these videos, you end up holding things in a very different kind of a way from how you would hold them if you were just, you know, at home making something like this. And it's very true. I definitely do not feel comfortable right now. Not in terms of anything, but just physically, this is not a very comfortable position to be trying to stitch these things. But you know, obviously, you know, I would have it like this. You can't see that, I realise, but you know, I would have my elbows in and I'd very much just be, well, I'd probably be in front of the TV, let's be honest. Let's be honest. But obviously we want to be able to, you know, show you these things, and it's always nice to hear that somebody's been inspired to make something after you've shown something. You know, that is never going to be not a nice thing to hear. You know, it's this is why we do it, is we want to be able to give you these ideas, and it's always a joy to see how you've then interpreted them in your own kind of a way. Now I'm keeping all my tiny little scraps because they would make very nice clusters at some point. So whilst you will use up some scraps, you will also make some scraps, but hey ho. Now that one's a little bit wide. I'm wondering whether to cut off part of that. Just going to cut this piece down just a tad. I know it means I lose this nice edging, but just was a bit too wide for me. Something like that. Yep. Right. Did I choose a bow for this one? I haven't, have I? Probably. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, so these can go, you know, really nicely on a page. You could add them to tags, hanging off of pockets, hanging off of page tabs, as part of, you know, jewellery for your the front of your cover, the front of your journal. Lots of ways that you could use these, and I'm hoping that you're agreeing they look really, really pretty. Right, how long? It's been about, I don't know, is that 25 minutes-ish? It's not bad, is it? Considering I have to make decisions as we go. No, I mean, I went with all neutral laces because then they can just go with any project, and, you know, you can use the bows or the buttons or the charms to, you know, help you decide what journal they'll go in. You know, if you like things to be matching colours wise. Like the blue, for example, if that was to go in a nice blue themed journal. Or at least somewhere where you've used blue, you know, if you're like that. So that one's a little bit wider, but still very, very pretty. Love it. Okay. Sorry, my voice went very high just then. Getting very excited by the prospect of using up some fabric scraps, and I just love working with fabric. I just do. Right, I'm gonna do this one because I really want to use this piece. And then I'll probably call that a video because I've got a couple more and I would carry on, but I don't know if I can talk for that long. I don't know, maybe I can. Never really tried. But it's one of those things, I just don't have any news, and it's so sad because I think I'm struggling a little bit with the idea that I'm supposed to be this travel blogger who goes gallivanting around the globe and everything, and we're just not there yet. You know, my husband and I, we've not really started traveling properly again yet. You know, we just haven't. And I think I'm struggling with that a little bit because it gives you, you end up feeling like, well, if I'm not this person that I thought I was, this, you know, this person who gallivants all over the globe, then like, who am I? And I'm so blessed that I could find this side of me, the, you know, the crafty at home side. And it was because of, you know, COVID and everything, where, you know, I had to find something else to do. And I had to, you know, find ways to, you know, keep going with things, because I'm a very like go-getter type person. I always need to be doing stuff, you know, here, there and everywhere. And you know, even at home, you know, I can't just be sitting watching TV. Like when I do watch TV, I need to be doing something at the same time. But I've always been like that. So yeah, I suppose I'm struggling because I don't have much to talk about other than what I'm doing at the moment, which is crafting. Because, you know, we're just, yeah, my husband and I, we just haven't got our mojo back for travel yet. But we do have our Isle of Wight trip booked, which I think I've told you about. That is coming up, I think, in a couple of weeks now. So later this month. So I'll be able to share some pictures with you all, yeah, very, very soon. I've never been to the Isle of Wight, so it would be nice to see what it's all about. But yeah, so until then, I don't really have any major news to share, other than about the project in hand. So I think that's why I've been sort of avoiding conversation type videos like this, where, you know, there's not really that much, once I've shown you it, there's not that much to say about the project, because yeah, I just worry that I don't have anything interesting to share right now. Which is, yeah, I haven't done that not very well. Hang on, let me just take that off. So yeah, so I am sorry if I'm struggling a little bit with that side of things. It's not like me at all. Normally I can talk for England and I have a lot to say, but it's just I don't have any news. Yeah, you can probably tell I'm going a little bit I don't know, cabin feverish at home. As I say, I'm not used to spending so much time at home. As much as I'm loving all of this, and I tell you, I really, really am, and I will keep on doing it for always. I miss travel. I miss it so much. I just miss it so, so much. So yeah, it's a new one for me to not have that to talk about, I guess, but hey ho, where is me, eh? I'll quit my belly aching now. Okay, so I'm just gonna put that in. Right, I think I've got pink and white bows left. Yeah, let's go with pink. So for that I will use gold. Not for any other reason, that just I feel like it. Oops, where's that gone? No. Got the lace in a funny position. There we go. Okay. Oops. Oh my goodness me. I can't even close the bulb pin now. It's like you know, when you struggle with your muscles in your fingers, it's really odd. It's been driving me nuts for ages now. There we go. Okay, perfect. Oh goodness me. See what I mean? It's like I just can't seem to grip things, and I have no idea why that would be, but hey ho. Right. Shall I put you out of your misery? Let's be honest, most of you would have clicked off by now. She's like, oh, she won't stop talking about nothing. Okay, right. I have not got, there we go. Right, I think I might need some more glue, but we'll just see. Kind of got glue everywhere but on the spot that it needed to be, which is, that's very like me, isn't it? There. Oh, they are so pretty and I love them. Cool, so I will show you these and then I'll just do those last two and put them in the thumbnail, because I think I've been nattering away long enough about nothing, so I'll put you out of your misery. So we've got 6 done. What do you think? Will you make these? I'd love to know. So if you will, please do tell me. If you've made some already, if you're making some right now, I'd love to know. Please let me know. As I say, these are going to look so pretty. So pretend this is my journal. That were to, you know, hang off the side, and no, that one's not hanging very well now. Type thing. What do you think? Would you make them? Do let me know. I will definitely make these again. I think they're so pretty. And yeah, just a different way to use up our fabric scraps. So thanks ever so much for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me make those. Hope you're feeling inspired. And as always, I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye for now.